Hey guys, I'm Aynnjeranus. I've been on a journey of climbing out of the void of mental health issues, addiction, chasing my dreams. And I'm here to share my journey in hopes that some of the things that I've learned and some of the mental tricks and being candid about my journey will help a community climb out of the void. Things we're going to be talking about on this channel is mental health issues. I'm ADHD, bipolar, and got complex PTSD. And I've discovered some practices and I'm ongoingly discovering practices. Currently in this season of my life, we are dealing with trying to quit nicotine vapes and the marijuana. Little background, I started smoking pot when I was 16. Around my 2021, I got heavy into alcohol. I quit cigarettes December 31st at 11:55 p.m. in 2019, right before 2020. In, I want to say 2021, I put down alcohol. And I've had some relapses that have taught me things about it. And each time I uncover like a piece of the puzzle that helps me understand what the triggers are and how to avoid them. I decided to quit cigarettes because I wanted to pursue professional vocals and be a metal vocalist. Alcohol, I had to put down because it was just destroying my life and my progress and healing from trauma. And it's not good on your vocal cords either. Weight gain, hormonal imbalance, money, and just the way I talk to myself was not very good. Into 2021, I quit that, and now the ongoing struggle has been weed and nicotine. Hopefully I can provide some insight, and I'm going to go through the reasons I found to quit and how it had affected me and my progress. I decided to try and professionally pursue vocals. Brother! So I've smoked weed since I was 16, and I started the process of quitting things that are bad on my lung and my instrument, my voice, in right 5 minutes before 2020. I actually, after that, found out I had like vocal cord calluses and I had to have surgery in September of 2021. And even though I quit alcohol, like I still was smoking weed. Even through having to go through surgery and losing my voice and, losing my instrument and getting so depressed or whatever, I still could not stop smoking weed. And that prolonged my healing. So I've been trying for a pretty long time now to quit weed. The reasons I want to quit: number one, the vocals. Secondly, I gave myself cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, CHS, which is basically like you screw with your cannabinoid receptors, like you desensitize them so much. And that's what controls your like esophageal sphincter and your stomach acid and everything in there and your digestion. And you get so desensitized that without weed, you can't really function, but it still makes you sick. So I've needed to quit that so that I can, actually not feel like shit every day. And you need your diaphragm for singing. So when your tummy hurts, I find out that my breath support is not the best and it, hinders my abilities. And then I have so many years of trauma, like intense trauma, and weed actually is good for PTSD and panic attacks because it pushes those emotions and memories to the back of your brain. But I'm actively trying to process them so I can stop getting trauma triggered all the time. And you have to be sober to do that. In May, I quit. I had a really traumatic event happen, and the weed was actually just making me paranoid and, not serving me. So I was able to quit, but my doctor prescribed Xanax for that, which I took for a month and ran out of that, withdrew, and was like, never again. But during doing Xanax, I relapsed on nicotine because the low of the Xanax needing a little pick-me-up. Oh, now I'm, smoking nicotine, vaping, which is addiction switching. So then I'm like, well, if I'm going to smoke anyway, I might as well smoke weed. So then I got back on the weed. And then October, I actually did a vlog series I'll probably post later. But October, I tried sober October. I made it till the 12th of October due to, we went to a party that day, and social stuff is a trigger when you're trying to stay away. And also because like the emotional instability, like when you're trying to quit, is just wild. Irritated the first couple days, then you level out for a minute, or at least I did, and my gastric issues got worse before they got better. So it was like intense tummy pain. And then around the 2-week mark, I got all crazy again, and everything's hyper triggering me. And then I decided to restart over and quit for November until indefinitely. I went on the porch on Halloween and put my intentions to do a candle and burned it away. And I made it up until Christmas. I'm sure some of you guys can figure out why. So we started over again New Year's Eve. It was 11:58 when I took my last hit. So I feel like this time, because I only relapsed for like a week, it's not as difficult. Although the vape I do be looking at more than I should. And like there was this weird part where I just like kept vaping because my stomach hadn't like had time to like hurt again. So like I would pick up the vape and just, smoking weed, and then pick up the vape and smoke till my tummy hurts from nicotine, because I hadn't smoked that in a while. And I'm like, oh, I got another video on seeking the comfort in the discomfort when you relapse. So my plan of action, like going back to now, this is I think 4th time maybe that we're trying to like put it down for good, really start, going towards our goals. Reasons I want to quit. I said, I got cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. I'm a vocalist. I also need to process some trauma, and I can't on weed all the time. And it just like, slows you down, kills your motivation. It also, I noticed relapsing this time, it also makes me feel bad about wanting to put content for you guys on the internet. It makes me like feel like I can't articulate myself well, all that stuff. It's better than what the alcohol does to my brain in that form, because I'll be like, alcohol, for 4 days afterwards, I'm like, bitch, who do you think you are? You're blah, blah, blah. You think you're gonna be this and that, you think you can sing, you think, just talk. Why would I choose to do something that's going to make me talk to myself like that? And so once I realized that helped me quit alcohol. Once I realized where that talking was coming from, because I had like drank every day or most days, never gave myself time to actually get out of the mindsets. But once I realized that made it so much easier to quit alcohol, because I'm like, oh, that's where that dialogue's coming from. I'm not systemically allergic to weed, but I'm allergic in my nose. It gives me rhinitis. And I can't do my screams when my instrument is like closed up and tight. The resonance chamber in the back of my nose is closed up and tight and irritated. And then there's a psychosomatic portion to that too. Like, oh, I smoke, no, I can't do anything. I actually got to record. I've actually like been able to sit down and do some groundwork for starting this channel. I've actually, for the two months or however long it was from November to the end of December that I didn't smoke. And I've actually been able to like, get vocally progress. Like so much of my like issues with my fry screams and my like false chord screams were, hindered because of smoking. These are the rewards that are outweighing the risks. So for any of you guys trying to like quit too, that's like step 1, is identifying the reasons why you want to quit, what the benefits of quitting are versus the benefits that the weed or the drug or the nicotine or whatever is, it's all drugs, but is providing for you. And 2 years ago, even though like I needed to quit to speed up the healing of my voice, like for whatever reason, the mental strife and the relief I was getting from weed was more than I guess what I love to do and healing myself. But it's time. So this is my 4th attempt. I always like to give myself markers on the 31st of this date, this significant holiday. Like Halloween's my favorite holiday, so that was one that I wanted to quit on. Then the new year, I like to do that or I like to try and quit at the end of the month, start a new month so I can see how far I go and measure my progress. Just looking back on the 2 months that I did make it and how much better I felt after that 2 months. When the week that I did smoke this past time, I just kept finding all the negatives. And like, I was like, I'm going to do, smoke it because it's going to be my last, I'm going to have to give it up. Like, this is... And I wasn't even enjoying smoking or vaping, but I'm like, oh, I gotta give it up by the new year. Addiction brain. Like, it's wild. It's not rational. It's just not. It don't make no sense. Well, I gotta give it up by the new year again, so I might as well just smoke it till I make myself sick. And like, I'm smoking weed and I'm not even feeling good. Like, cause I'm just like focusing on how bad I feel about myself for relapsing and how I'm like taking myself further and further away from my goals and my creativity to help push me in the direction of quitting, as I have that reference point and that relapse and that feeling of accomplishment versus this feeling of regret and shame and, like I'm doing something bad and all the negative emotions coming up from actually doing the drug. So now I'm like, okay, I've made it. I've done this experiment, made it 2 months. My stomach don't hurt. My mind don't hurt. I'm more productive and I feel better about myself. And now I have this reference point of a week where it just ain't even really doing anything for me. It ain't doing the effect that I want it to. And then you want to go back into the same patterns that you did when you were using the drug every day. I don't do my evening routine. I don't floss my teeth at night. I eat a bunch of dumb crap, which is taking me away from my fitness goals. That's another thing. So I have this point of reference. And one thing also, Dr. K, the Healthy Gamer GG, I watch him a lot. He helps me out. He's talking about like the science of motivation. And when you're thinking about doing something, the healthy action versus the unhealthy action, right? So if I'm sitting there thinking about weed versus not smoking weed, the longer you think about it, the craving is going to pass, right? So the longer you think about it, the more you're like motivating yourself into the ways of keeping to your goals. But the minute you don't think about it is when you relapse, because you're like, I'm just going to do this because I'm sick of thinking about it, like weighing it back and forth. Like, should I smoke? Oh, I want to smoke all these, So every time you just sit there and you think about why you're thinking about doing this drug or whatever you're thinking about doing, going back to this relationship, eating this unhealthy meal, whatever you're doing that's against what you want to be motivated, because you are motivated either way. You're just motivated in the direction of doing the thing that you don't want to do no more, because it provides some type of comfort and you get some type of emotional benefit from it. So the minute you like stop thinking about why you don't want to do this thing is when you give into the motivational direction of doing the thing that you don't want to do. And if you just sit there and you think it out and you make yourself pissed off by dwelling on it, eventually the craving passes and you're like, okay, I'm going to do another thing. That's kind of what I've been doing, trying to redirect my thoughts to, okay, I want to smoke right now. Why do I want to smoke? What's the like emotional thing that I'm trying to escape from? Usually a lot of the time it's boredom. Okay, I'm bored and I don't know what to do with myself. I don't have to know how to sit with myself and just relax. I'm one of those people. I don't know how to relax. Okay, so I got to be doing something because that makes me chill. Well, why don't I sit here and work on recording? Why don't I sit here and color? I got coloring books. Like, why don't I sit here? Why don't I take a walk? Why don't I go to the gym? Like, these are all things that are going to move the needle in the direction that I want to go with my life and my career. Just got to sit there. So that's my plan of action. Now, I had just relapsed. So this plan that I have right now that I'm going to be vlogging my, every couple days or something about is to take it easy and be gentle with myself this time around. Because before I gave myself in October, I gave myself like, oh, I look forward to these vlogs and these updates that I get to do, and reflecting on my feelings and, trying to pinpoint and analyze where they're coming from and everything, because I'm one of those people. I try to analyze, pathologize everything. November, it was really about like trying to stick to like my spirituality and how I burnt that into a candle, because I thought that was really cool and, save the date, Halloween, spooky, This time, it feels like it's going to be easier because I have that reference point of, wow, I didn't even enjoy that for the 6 days that I did it. Why would I do it? It makes my nose feel funny. I can't sing. I love to sing. I love to sing more than, anything else. Right now, the goal for this first week of the new year is to just chill on myself. Get back into my routine that I fell off of from the relapse, refocus on my fitness goals, because I gained 5 pounds in this past week. With the, granted, the holidays, you know, you eat a bunch of stuff. Another thing I want to talk about is why I even relapsed in the first place. It's because I felt like crap since Thanksgiving because I ADHD binge ate steak and eggs for 6 weeks, and it made my whole body, like my cholesterol, I had to go get tested, and my cholesterol was through the roof. It was like almost to the max on the scale. And I'm like, bitch. With your neurodivergent ass. Like, you would think at some point in time, I'd be like, you know, this doesn't make me feel well. I should probably stop and balance my diet more. Oh, I'm so traumatized that I didn't realize it. And so it was like, I can't do a push-up anymore. Like, what? Why is my muscles so fatigued? That didn't even stop me. Like, I was wondering what was wrong, because I was like, yo, it usually feels good for me to work out. Why is it so difficult? Why am I struggling to do 10 one-leg hip thrusts? Why am I struggling with this? Because I built myself up to do more than this. And it was actually one night, my one foot was colder than the other. And I was like, all right, let's Google. And they were like, that's a symptom of vascular something. Anyway, it's basically you're getting fat built up in your arteries. And I was like, wonder why I got so much fat in my arteries. Oh, does steak and eggs cause, you know? And yeah, it does. ADHD is wild. I'm trying to get my balance back in order, and I just felt like crap, like from Thanksgiving. And so that's kind of what made addiction brain go off real bad. And when you don't feel good, it's hard. Those seemingly are most of my triggers, actually, is not physically feeling good. No, it's mentally too. I lie. But that's the trigger, right? Ultimately, is not feeling good in my own body and mind, and seeking an external source to cope with that. Because you gotta build healthy habits, like going to the gym and deep breathing and meditation. And all that sounds lame sometimes, but it works. Gotten a lot better. But yeah, this week we are just going to be patient with ourselves. We're gonna let our body heal a little bit from the relapse. We're gonna, work out, but not try to go balls to the wall, brother. Gains. We're gonna be gentle with ourselves, and we're gonna rest and relax and just feel our feelings around the relapse and remind ourselves of our goals and journal. And we're gonna create art, and hopefully you guys benefit from my rants about being an addict. So thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and maybe subscribe or comment or do something so that other people can maybe see this and you can catch me when I post, because I'm mentally ill. I don't know when I'm going to post, to be quite frank. So